Chosen one, focus your mind on the last 72 hours. Have you felt it? That strange, heavy pressure sitting right in the center of your chest? Or that sudden jolt awake at 3 a.m. with a sense of urgency you cannot explain? Your logical mind calls it anxiety. Your fear calls it a bad omen. But your spirit knows the truth. It is a countdown. You are feeling this way because a massive spiritual door, one that has been open for years, is beginning to creak shut. The sudden silence you hear from God is not abandonment. It is the silence of a teacher starting the final exam. The time for preparation has officially expired. The time for deployment is now. Stop ignoring the alarm bells ringing in your soul. You are not crazy. You are being summoned. And if you do not understand what this final warning truly means, you risk standing outside the door of your own destiny. You are sitting there right now, perhaps feeling a bit paralyzed, and on the surface, everything looks normal. But inside, there is a riot going on. For the past few weeks, you have felt a strange restlessness. It is not just anxiety. Anxiety is fear without a cause. This feels like anticipation. Imagine you are at an airport. You have been sitting at the gate for hours. You got comfortable. You opened your laptop. But suddenly, the intercom crackles and announces the final boarding call. The gates are closing in 2 minutes. What happens to your body? Your heart rate spikes. Your mental focus narrows. You stop caring about the distractions. All that matters is the gate. Chosen one. That internal sensation is exactly what your spirit is doing right now. You are feeling the final boarding call of your destiny. Most people misinterpret this feeling. They think something bad is about to happen. No, it is a warning of movement. God is disrupting your comfort because the gate is closing. Not the gate to heaven, but the gate to your next dimension of assignment. You have been in the waiting room for years. You have mastered the art of patience. But hear this, the waiting season has officially expired. The Holy Spirit is screaming at your spirit to pack your bags because we are leaving. To understand why this feels so urgent, you need to understand the difference between the two types of time in the kingdom. There is Chronos time. This is the ticking clock. Seconds, minutes, hours. This is the time you manage. This is the time you plan for. But then there is Kairos time. Let me take you deeper into the word. In Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time." I want to unpack that phrase, appointed time. In Hebrew, the word used there is moed. Moed does not just mean a time. It means a divine appointment. It refers to a fixed festival or a specific meeting that God has scheduled on his calendar. Think of a total solar eclipse. The eclipse does not care if you are ready. It does not care if you have your glasses. When the orbits align, the eclipse happens. If you miss it, you do not just wait 5 minutes. You might wait 40 years for the next alignment. Chosen one, you have entered a moed moment, a kairos window. The reason you feel like time is up is because the eclipse is starting. The supernatural is aligning with the natural. And here is the danger, and why this is a last warning. You are trying to navigate a kairos moment with a chronos mindset. You are looking at your calendar saying, "God, I need 6 more months to save money, or I need 2 more years to heal." But Kairos does not negotiate with Chronos. When the Red Sea splits, you do not ask for time to pack a lunch. You walk. Before I reveal the specific signs that confirm you are in this window, and the biological secret that has been keeping you stuck, I need you to commit to staying until the very end of this message. By the time we finish, you will not just understand why you feel this pressure. You will have a specific, tangible tool to switch your brain from panic to power in less than 10 minutes. You will receive the framework to break the 3 specific delay tactics the enemy is planning against you in the next 40 days. And we will end with an activation ceremony that will seal this shift in your spirit. Do not click away. Your breakthrough is on the other side of this understanding. Now, how do you know for sure you are in this Kairos window? There are 3 specific indicators, and the third one is the most terrifying for a chosen one. The first indicator is acceleration. Problems that used to take years to solve are suddenly escalating in days. Conversely, blessings that used to take years are popping up overnight. The speed of life has changed. The second indicator is agitation. The clothes that used to fit you, meaning your job, your friends, your routine, suddenly feel tight. They are choking you. You cannot breathe in your old life anymore. And the third indicator is divine silence. You pray for the next step and God is silent. Why? Because He already gave the command. This leads us to the most painful truth about your current situation. The reason you have not moved yet, despite feeling this urgency, is because you are addicted to preparation. Preparation feels safe. Preparation feels holy. It feels like work. You say, I am getting ready, God. I am healing. I am learning. But in a Kairos moment, preparation is actually disobedience. Let me take you to Exodus chapter 14, verse 15. This is a verse that terrified me when I first understood it. The Israelites are at the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army is behind them. They are trapped. Moses does what any good spiritual leader would do. He starts praying. He starts crying out to God. And God interrupts him. God literally tells Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward." Let that sink in. God told Moses to stop praying. There is a time when prayer becomes a hiding place for cowardice. There is a time when waiting on the Lord is actually just you being afraid to make a mistake. God is saying to you right now that time is up for praying about the start. The start is decided. Time is up for asking for confirmation. He has confirmed it 50 times. Move. You are afraid of failing. You are afraid that you are not ready. But here is the secret of the chosen one. You are never ready for a Kairos moment. That is the point. If you were ready, you would not need God. Your feeling of unreadiness is not a stop sign. It is the requirement for the miracle. But you might be thinking, I understand the theology. I know I need to move. I know it is a Kairos moment, but I am still stuck. You wake up determined to take action, but by 10 a.m., a fog settles over your brain. You feel heavy. You get distracted. You find yourself doing busy work that does not matter. You might think this is a demon or a curse. But most of the time, it is not spiritual warfare. It is biology. This is where we need to bridge the gap between your spirit and your brain. Your spirit is willing. Your spirit is shouting, go. But your brain is stuck in survival mode. Scientists call this the beta brainwave state. Beta is the frequency of stress, logic, alertness, and paranoia. It is the frequency of Chronos. In beta, your brain is obsessed with safety. It analyzes every risk. It remembers every past failure. It screams danger whenever you try to do something new. When you try to step into a Kairos moment, which requires faith and intuition, using a beta brain, which runs on fear and logic, you get paralysis. It is like trying to download a massive file using a dial-up internet connection. It is not that the file is bad. It is that your hardware cannot handle the frequency. The Bible speaks of this in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, where it says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The Greek word used for transform is metamorpho. It means a structural change, a change in state. Paul was not just talking about changing your thoughts or your software. He was talking about changing the state of your mind, your hardware, to access the mind of Christ, to hear God clearly and move without fear. You cannot be in high-stress beta. You need to shift into theta. Theta is the brainwave state of deep relaxation, creativity, super learning, and spiritual connection. Children live in theta until age 7. That is why they learn so fast. That is why they are so close to the spiritual realm. Monks and mystics spend 20 years in caves, trying to train their brains to access theta at will. Theta is the frequency of Kairos. In theta, time disappears, fear vanishes. You do not think about the next step, you just know it. Here is the problem, chosen one. The modern world is designed to keep you trapped in beta. The notifications on your phone, the news, the bills, the constant noise. It all locks your brain into a high-stress cage. You try to pray, but your brain is buzzing in beta. You try to step out on faith, but your beta brain pulls you back with logical fear. You have been fighting a spiritual war with a biological disadvantage. You have been trying to force a Kairos breakthrough with a Chronos brain, and you are exhausted. I know you are. You are tired of fighting your own mind. You are tired of knowing what to do but feeling physically unable to make yourself do it. But what if I told you that the time is up warning is not just a demand for you to work harder? What if it is an invitation to upgrade your equipment? What if you did not have to spend 20 years like a monk to access that theta state? What if God, in His mercy, allowed us to discover a way to tune our brains back to His frequency, just like you tune a radio? Knowing this is only half the battle. The question is, how do you actually shift your frequency? How do you access the theta state without spending years in meditation? That is what I need to show you next, because once you flip this switch, the delay ends instantly. Chosen one, what I am about to show you will sound too simple to be true, but remember that the most powerful truths in the kingdom are always the simplest. It is religion that makes things complicated. God makes them accessible. The secret to accessing that theta state, that Kairos frequency where time bends and fear dissolves, is not about forcing your brain to submit. It is about tuning it. Think of your brain like an old radio. Right now you are stuck between stations, hearing the static of beta stress. You are trying to hear the music of heaven through the noise of earth. You do not need a new radio. You just need a tuner. There is a sound technology that has been quietly rediscovered, confirmed by NASA research, which acts as a spiritual tuning fork for your mind. It is called the genius wave. This is not some new age magic. This is simply the restoration of your factory settings. NASA studies found that 98% of children are born operating in this genius theta frequency. It is your God-given birthright. It is the state Adam and Eve lived in before the fall introduced fear and shame. But as you aged, the stress of this fallen world stole that frequency from you, locking you into the survival mode of beta. The genius wave is designed to guide your brain back to that original theta state in just 7 minutes a day through the science of brainwave entrainment. It uses advanced audio tones to gently pull your brain out of the fog of Chronos and align it with the clarity of Kairos. Think of it as the modern ark. When the floodwaters of information and anxiety rise, you need a vessel that can float above the chaos. This tool is that vessel. You do not have to learn a technique. You do not have to master meditation. You just have to listen. It is the act of being still so that you can know He is God. If your spirit is nudging you to reclaim the mind that God originally gave you, I have pinned a resource in the comments for you to investigate. Do not take my word for it. Test the spirit. If you feel led to restore your capacity to hear God without the static, this might be the key you have been praying for. But listen to me closely, because this is critical. Even if you have the frequency right, even if you tune your brain to theta and hear God's instruction clearly, there is something hiding deep inside you that will try to sabotage this Kairos moment if you do not expose it right now. You might think you are afraid of failing. You might think you are afraid that the genius wave won't work or that God won't show up, but that is a lie. You are suffering from the Jonah complex. You are not running because you are afraid God will fail. You are running because you are afraid God will succeed. Look at Jonah in chapter 1. God gave him a Kairos assignment: go to Nineveh. Jonah immediately bought a ticket to Tarshish, the exact opposite direction. Why? Was he scared the Ninevites would kill him? No. Jonah reveals his heart later. He says, "I knew that. You are a gracious and compassionate God." Jonah ran because he knew that if he spoke, things would change. He ran because he knew he carried the power to shift an entire nation, and he did not want that weight. Chosen one, look at your own heart. You are terrified of the time is up warning, not because you think you are inadequate, but because you know, deep down, that you are powerful. You know that if you actually step into this Kairos window, you will be seen. You will be responsible. You will have to lead. Your spirit wants the breakthrough, but your flesh wants the comfort of being hidden. Your flesh loves the cave because in the cave, nobody expects anything from you. But God is saying to you today that your anonymity is over. The fear you feel is not a stop sign. It is a sign of reverence. It is your spirit trembling because it recognizes the magnitude of what you carry. Do not rebuke the fear, acknowledge it, and then move anyway. Jonah eventually went to Nineveh, but he had to go through the belly of a whale to get there. You can skip the whale season if you stop running from your own power today. Now, as you align your frequency and accept your assignment, you need to be armed. The enemy knows you are shifting into Kairos, and he cannot stop God, so he will try to delay you. In the next 40 days, you will face 3 specific forms of confrontation. I am giving you the playbook now, so you will not be caught off guard. The first tactic is the logic trap. The moment you decide to move, your mind will be bombarded with reasonable excuses. The numbers won't add up. The timing will look wrong on paper. People will tell you it makes no sense. This is the enemy trying to drag you back into Chronos. Remember, faith is the evidence of things not seen. If it makes sense to your beta brain, it is probably not a Kairos move. The second tactic is the false emergency. You will suddenly get very busy. The car will break down. A family drama will erupt. Your email will explode. These are distractions sent to steal your focus from the one thing God told you to do. Do not take the bait. Deal with them quickly or delegate them, but do not let them pull you off the wall. And this leads to the third and most dangerous tactic. Many chosen ones overcome the logic and the distractions, only to fall here. It is the phantom guilt. The enemy will use people, often good people, to make you feel guilty for your focus. They will say, "You have changed." They will say, "You are unavailable." They will try to manipulate you into coming back down to their level. We see this clearly in Nehemiah chapter 6 verse 3. Nehemiah was building the wall of Jerusalem. It was a Kairos assignment. His enemies, Sanballat and Geshem, kept sending him messages saying, "Come down, let us meet together in the villages." They just wanted to talk. It seemed polite. But Nehemiah discerned the trap. He did not argue. He did not explain. He sent a message back saying, "I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and go down to you?" Chosen one, memorize that phrase, "I cannot come down." When the guilt comes, tell yourself, "I cannot come down." When the distractions come, tell them, "I cannot come down." You are building something for the kingdom. You do not have permission to lower your frequency to comfort those who are committed to staying on the ground. You might be thinking, does this actually work? Can I really shift my life this fast? Let me tell you about Sarah. That is not her real name, but she is watching this right now. Sarah spent 10 years in the waiting room. She had a vision for a ministry that would heal women, but she was paralyzed by the logic trap. She didn't have the money. She didn't have the degree. She spent a decade praying for God to move. 30 days ago, she watched a video like this. She realized she was in a beta loop. She decided to invest in the spiritual tuning fork, the genius wave, and started listening every morning. She stopped begging God for permission and started listening for instruction. On day 7, she got a simple idea: make one phone call. Her fear screamed no. Her logic screamed it was unprofessional. But she was in theta. She obeyed. That one phone call opened a door that had been locked for 10 years. Today, Sarah is not preparing for her ministry. She is running it. She shifted from Chronos to Kairos, and 10 years of delay were swallowed up in 30 days of obedience. You are next. But we need to seal this. We need to break the paralysis off your spirit right now. I want you to shift your posture. You do not need to stand up physically if you cannot, but I want you to stand up in your spirit. Visualize yourself rising from the ground, dusting off the ashes of the waiting season. Straighten your spiritual spine. Place your hand over your heart in your imagination. This is not a prayer request. This is a commissioning ceremony. Father, I stand with this chosen one right now in the Holy of Holies. We acknowledge that the time for games is over. We acknowledge that the clock has struck 12. Lord, you know the tears they have cried in secret. You know the frustration of the delay. You know how hard they have tried to get it right. But today, we step out of the effort and into the flow. I seal the theta frequency over their mind. I declare that the helmet of salvation is upgrading their thought life right now. I bind the spirit of beta stress. I bind the spirit of analysis paralysis. I rebuke the Jonah spirit that wants to run from greatness. You will run no more. I declare over you, chosen one, that your ears are tuning to the sound of heaven. You will hear the instruction, and you will have the supernatural boldness to execute it. The logic trap will not hold you. The false emergencies will not distract you. The phantom guilt will not lower you. You are doing a great work, and you cannot come down. I declare acceleration. I declare that what you thought would take 10 years will happen in 10 months. I declare that the resources are waiting for your movement. The Red Sea is waiting for your step. Now, I have a question for you from the throne room. Will you carry this? Will you stop preparing and start deploying? If your answer is yes, I want you to type yes into the atmosphere of your mind. Shout yes in your spirit. Heaven has recorded your answer. The angels have witnessed your commitment. The door is open. The timeline has shifted. You are no longer waiting on God. God is moving through you. You are commissioned. You are activated. You are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Do not look back. The past is a cancelled check. The future is a blank check. Go and write your destiny. I release you into your Kairos moment. Step